So, hey, Metalheads, Matters a Law radio show and YouTube channel has the honor to interview Andres Vargas, vocalist and founder of the Antichrist. So, thanks, Andres. Thanks for the interview. And my first question is, how did the idea of using Nietzsche's book called the Antichrist as part of the name of the band come up your mind?
First of all, hey, hi everyone. Thanks, Lucy, for having me tonight, having me today in your program. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be with you today. So sharing
Thank you.
some things, some stuff about the Antichrist from my band. So I really appreciate this opportunity just to be sharing with you and all the people around the world just watching at this time. So hi everyone. Um, about the question, yes, it's a really interesting question. Pretty much it's about the philosophy of the Antichrist, the philosophy behind the Antichrist. So the title or the name of my band, the Antichrist, is pretty much is related to the Antichrist book from Friedrich Nietzsche. So for me, has been when I was a teenager, I was reading a lot of books, a lot of war writers. So it caught my attention, the Nietzsche philosophy. So the way that he was seeing the world at that time, his point of views about religions, about the human being at the times, in 19th century. So it was a really shocking thing for me. So that caught my attention, and for that reason, I decided just call my band the Antichrist. It's a more personal way, but it caught my attention. Calling the Antichrist because it's a shocking name. Just the title for a band, the Antichrist or the Antichrist is really shocking name. But in my case, it's not related to much for about the religious stuff, about the Antichrist coming from the Bible. In my way, it's more about humanistic way and more philosophical way, but inspired by Friedrich Nietzsche. So that's the way or the meaning of the Antichrist band.
Mhm. And Nietzsche was diagnosed insane after writing The Antichrist. So what is your personal opinion about him? Do you think he's a genius or a lunatic?
Well, as I say, he was deep into the really questions about life, about the human being. And for me, he was ahead of his time at that time. Unfortunately, he has some health issues that getting for him all the stuff that we know. The ending of Friedrich Nietzsche. But for me, when he was lucid, he was really in his mind. It was really interesting, a philosophy at that time. As I say, in 19th century, just coming with this kind of point of view is really shocking against the religious, about the that kind of social environment at that time. So it was a really shocking thing. But for me, he's a kind of genius, obviously. So he get really bad and his health about his health issues. But anyways, it's really interesting getting deep in his book and his philosophy. So that's the interesting thing about Friedrich Nietzsche.
Hmm. Great. Good. And you luckily had a chance to visit your hometown in Colombia in the middle of this crazy pandemic situation in our world. And I've seen some charity work done by you there. So tell us more about it, please.
Well, nowadays we're living a really challenging time. It's a crazy time. It's really crazy time, with this kind of thing about the pandemic. It's a pandemic around the world. It's the whole world. It's no US, it's no Europe, it's no Latin America. Pretty much it's a pandemic that is moving around the whole world. Unfortunately for Latin America, it's really hitting bad the people in Latin America because the social conditions in Latin America, all the corrupt governments, the lack of resources for the people, the social resources for the people. So it's really tough situation right now for Latin America. For the people that doesn't know too much about my origin, so I'm born and raised from Colombia and Latin America and South America. And yes, how you say, a few months ago, I went to Colombia and I experienced in the first hand how this pandemic has been really hitting the people over there really so bad. So because people making the living, trying to make a living, trying to work, and the day by day and the day by day basis. So it has been really hard for so many people, especially where there's some people that they are working on making a living like a street vendors. So
Yep.
I had the opportunity just to share with them, just bring in some help. That's the way that I take advantage of my art, because I try to show to the world that we are really experiencing really challenging times, and it is something beyond the politics, something beyond about religions. It's more about being solidary. It's about solidarity. So being helping
Hmm.
people in really in need at this time is a challenging time.
Yes, for sure. So I don't know about you, but I've seen much love come from black metal guys lately, more than from Christians. Of course, I don't want to start a polemic situation or discussion here, but maybe we are dealing with some controversial issues here. So if we think about the duality of everything in our planet, what do you think about it?
Yeah, as I say, I'll be working with my band. It's more a philosophical way. I'm trying to be respectful of the different points of view. We have different opinions, different beliefs, and I try and be respectful of that. But in this case, I'm trying to give a hand to people in need. So for me, this kind of work is beyond what I do with my art. It's beyond what I think. It's beyond politics, religion. So I understand that there are so many controversy. Could be had so many controversy around this because, I play with my band black metal, and
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing, because the way so much people they see black metal is really against all the establishment, a lot of stuff. But my way that I be funding my band, the way that I be working with my band is a philosophical way, is more a humanistic way, and I had to trying to step ahead in this situation because, as I say, we are in a challenging times. And one thing is for me is the easy thing, staying home, writing songs against with a lot of criticizing the reality that we are living. That's the easy way, writing music, just posting something on social media, say, hey, I'm tired of this war, but at the end of the day, what I'm doing just to change that kind of stuff, So if I'm doing something just to improve a lot, it could be a small details, but those small details has made the difference. Instead of staying lazy at home, just complaining about everything, writing a lot of stuff. Hey, I'm against this, and about against the government, about against the religions, the whatever this kind of stuff. But other thing is a step ahead and doing something, actually doing
Yes.
something. So I, I listened that call and I went to Colombia, and that's the thing that I'll be trying to do, So it has been just like a humble way for me just to be a step ahead and just giving my hand for someone in need. So that's the thing beyond all the controversy, how do you say that that this kind of stuff that can bring.
Cool. So wise words and attitude. So you have my respect, really. So how is the support from Colombian fans to you?
Well, it's not only Colombian fans, it's the Latin American scenes,
Hmm.
So we got a really great support. I'm really grateful for that, receiving every day the support, the love of all the fans around the world. But, with Latin American scene, I got a special relationship with them. So the fans from Mexico, from Central America, from South America.
Hmm.
So it's a really good connection that I got with them, of course, with all the fans in here in the US, because the band right now is based in the US in Dallas, Texas. But so far, I'm really grateful for that. Receiving all the support for all our friends around the world. It's not only Colombia or Latin America; it's Europe too. We receive a lot of support from all our European fans, friends. So I'm really grateful for that. It has been really a tough time for us too as a musicians because
Yeah.
all the entertainment business, all the music business, the live music business is completely stopped. It's completely in hold, and we are going to be the last business resuming. Coming back. So it's really tough situation for us, you know, for so many bands that they were making a
Yeah.
living. So I know so many other good friends that they were making a living, you know, just touring, doing, giving all the shows, releasing albums. So it's a really tough situations for the music business. But I'm really grateful for that. You know, we are receiving so much support, and has been really, really great experiencing and getting in touch with the fans and receiving that support. For me, I'm really honored to be that kind of really support my art.
So you had an amazing chance to tour here in Europe in 2019 when I had the chance to see you live and interview Absus, your guitarist. So tell me a little about that tour. Which are your good memories or any good or funny story to share with us?
Well, it has been an amazing experience that we had in Europe, and we had it on time. You know, pretty much it was before all this pandemic situation.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest with you, it took me 20 years on my band or career just to go into Europe for the first time. So it was really, really exciting campaign, because as I say, it took me 20 years of my career, my whole career, just to go in an European tour with good bands like it was a Cara Krengren, Wolfheart, and a Vargas. So it was a really good package of bands that we were touring all the summer for around 19 countries. It was really exciting experience, amazing experience, you know, knowing for meeting people, meeting friends for the first time in their countries and the cities. So it's something that I can't forget. You know, it's gonna be memorable for me. I'm gonna be and still have good friends after that, and it was really really amazing experience. You know, going being in Europe for the first time. So it was amazing. You know, we got so many good memories, funny stories. About the funny stories that I say, well, it was a couple of times. It was crazy for us because it's just starting the tour in Germany, the light liner, the tour bus, they broke down. We had to wait until they sent another bus. We were rushing pretty much the last minute because we were in the middle of the road, middle of nowhere, waiting
Oh,
for the other bus. It was crazy, just starting the tour. So we were four bands and one bus. So it was crazy at that time. And we were rushing because we were going late, I think, for Frankfurt to Frankfurt. It was the second city of the tour. And I had to be rushing, doing my paint at the bus because we didn't have too much time. Just so it was crazy because on the curbs and the road, you know, it was like a moving around, and I
oh,
was using the mirror of the restroom for the night later. So it was a crazy experience. So pretty much we get on time. I get on time to the venue, to the show, and just go for it. So it was crazy, but it was really really good experience that I'm gonna have really really good memories about it.
good. And what are the Antichrist plans for the future? A new album is on the way?
Of course, yeah, we are taking advantage of this situation that we are not busy touring, preparing shows, preparing concerts. So we are taking advantage of this time because when when we are touring, active touring, playing shows, we have to be focusing on the live performance and the live part, practicing for that. But at this time, we are taking advantage that we are not touring. We don't have so many things around just to be going over there preparing shows.
Mhm.
So yeah, we are working on a new album. We already have 9 tracks, completely 9 tracks, new music,
Nice.
around 50 minutes. So we are really excited about this new album. So right now we are working just on the pre-production, working on the demos. So and pretty soon we are going to start going to the studio, and hopefully we can release the album by this year. But it's a really good album. So I can't advance so many things, but I can say uh, pretty much I spent a long time working song by song, rebuilding all the music.
Mhm.
So, and the new album is gonna be like a 180 grace degree turn with the previous stuff of the band. So it's a really good
Oh,
album. We are coming with something fresh. So, and that's all the stuff that we are working behind the scenes at this time.
okay. I'm looking forward.
Of course, yeah, we
Um,
did.
yeah. So which are your main metal influences as a singer?
Well, I love all kind of old school metal, because I grew up listening all the old school metal, all the classic bands. That's the bands that I enjoy listening nowadays all the time. I don't get tired listening to the same bands over and over, the same albums over and over, because that's the bands that I grew up listening of, and I'm born and raised in the old school classic metal. So, but of course, there are so many good frontmans that I really like it, like a Bruce Dickinson for Iron Maiden, like a Rob Halford, Judas Priest, Alice Cooper, Jane Simmons, all the classic icons, that we grew up listening and we enjoy so much. So
Mhm.
their performance. So yeah, just to relate a few, then pretty much this is our or Lemmy too, or Motorhead, has been a really good inspiration for me. You can see it in
Yeah.
here and you can see it in here. So of course, it's a really, really good inspiration, just that we can continue carry on the legacy.
Hmm. And which are your influences out of metal,
Well, what kind of
if you have?
influences you
If
say?
I
Music,
mean,
about related music, or
related to music, yes, yes. I don't know if
okay,
you
really?
listen to any other kinds of music, and which would be, um, would they influence you somehow musically?
Well, about music, I love listening film soundtracks. The music soundtracks, the score soundtracks. I really love that kind of stuff because it's so complex. There are so many things, and when you are watching a movie, you are focused on the visual aspect, but behind that there is the music aspect. The musical
Yeah.
aspect that make a movie standing up. You feel the good experience when you watch a movie. So I really like listening the movie film, some of the movie film soundtracks, especially Lord of the Rings. I love listening to the Lord of the Rings soundtracks. First of all, because I'm really a good fan for Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit music and the Hobbit movies, but the soundtrack, the Howard Shore soundtrack, the music, oh, it's amazing. So that's the kind of music that sometimes I enjoy, just to find like my peace of mind, or just to
Mhm.
get an inspiration to writing lyrics, or just to find a quiet place, a quiet time during the day, relax. And this is the kind of music that I enjoy listening.
Okay. And now I have a situation for you. This is a classical situation here on Matters of Law, okay? So, suppose you were a bad guy, got in trouble, and had life imprisonment as a sentence, and you can have nothing with you but three albums that you can listen to for the rest of your life, because one of the guards of the prison is a nice guy and gave you this gift. So, which albums would you choose and why?
Well, it's a tough question,
Yeah.
just to, it's because there are so many good bands, so many good albums,
Yeah.
or songs, or could be just a single song, that make your day. You're listening,
Yeah.
going to one song, and it could be just one single song, a five minute song. So it's a really tough question, but I would say I love the Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden. I love Iron Maiden, so that is going to be might be one of them. The other one, it could be Judas Priest, the Scene After Scene. I love that album. Just classic stuff. How you can notice, it's just classic stuff. And maybe the Kill 'Em All from Metallica too. I love that album too. Just classic stuff,
Okay.
and just
Yeah.
being really, really demanding. Choosing one of those three albums. But there are so many good stuff around that. But that
Hmm.
would be my options,
Okay.
my picks.
Great. And now to finish our interview, would you like to leave a message to your fans who are watching or listening to us?
Just say thank you, everyone, for taking the time just to watching this interview. I really appreciate the time, Lucy, being on your home this time. Tonight for you, the afternoon for me here in the U.S. So it's a pleasure for me. Thanks for having me today. if it's not, just say thanks everyone, for all the support, all the European fans. This is a good opportunity just to say hi to all the European friends, all the good friends that we got in Europe, because as I say before, we got a really long tour with so many countries, so many good friends that we made
Yeah.
on the road. So hopefully we can come back soon after all this crazy time, just start going away and everything start resuming to the normal life. We can wait to be in the concerts, sharing good time, sharing good memories, sharing cold beer with good friends. So hopefully we can go back to those good times. In the meantime, so I appreciate your support. I really appreciate you supporting my art all this time. So supporting this Latin American warrior, metal warrior, because it has been a really tough time. So thanks,
Yep.
Lucy. It's a pleasure for me being with you tonight. And everyone just stay safe and healthy out there. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and hopefully we can be together pretty soon. So I appreciate the time.
Yeah. Thank you. Great. Thanks again, okay, for the interview. Thank you all for watching and listening to us, and stay heavy.